Hello and welcome to Prime and Composite Numbers. This is Chapter 3, Lesson 3 from the Nelson Math Focus textbook. I'm Mr. Burko. You're listening to my Mathcast. Let's get started. Our goal today is to identify prime and composite numbers. We've already explored prime numbers a little bit, and without really mentioning composite numbers, we've also been exploring composite numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that can only be divided by two different factors, and that is number 1 and itself. So for instance, 3 is a prime number. It can only be divided into one group of 3 or 3 groups of 1. Now, a composite number is the opposite of a prime number. It means it's a number that can be divided into several groups. So, for instance, 9 can be divided into 3 groups of 9, 1 group of 9, or 9 groups of 3, whatever, okay? So that's the idea. We're talking about batteries here, and just to illustrate this point, if you have a package of 2 batteries, you can only package them one way. They can be packaged side by side. The same goes for a package of 3 batteries, and that's why 2 and 3 are prime numbers, because 3 can only be packaged one way, 3 batteries right next to each other. But if you have 4 batteries, you can package it 4 side by side, or you can package it in 2 rows of 2. So you have options when it comes to composite numbers. Our question on page 78 asks what other numbers of batteries from 2 to 50 can be packaged in only one way. It's your turn. I would like you to pause the presentation, and hopefully you read the blog there and noticed that I want you to print off a 100 chart. Now the 100 chart is going to be something that we're going to use in class over the next few weeks to help us identify prime numbers. And we're going to go through this right now together. And if you have your 100 chart and a piece of on a piece of paper printed off and a pencil, then it's going to be much easier for you to do this. Alternatively, what you can do is draw yourself a chart from 1 to 50, but it would be really great to have 1 to 100. So if you want, just pause the presentation, print that thing off, and if you do print it off, there will be a special prize for you tomorrow. The first thing we're going to do is circle number 2. We already established that number 2 is a prime number because it can only be packaged one way. And what I want you to do is cross off every pair number, because as you know from our class, the last couple classes, all numbers that are pair can be divided or factored by more than just 1 in itself. Alright, so now you've crossed off all of the pair numbers. The next thing I want you to do is cross off 3, or sorry, not cross off 3, but circle 3, and cross off every third number. So sometimes that's going to be a pair number, it's already crossed off. But sometimes it's going to be like a 9, for instance. That's a composite number, so we're going to cross that off. Go 1, 2, 3, that's the 12 already crossed off, but then you can cross off the 15, and so on. You might want to pause the presentation and cross off every third number so that it matches mine. Next prime number is 5. And 5 is going to be circled, and what I want you to do is, because all the multiples of 5 are composite numbers, I want you to cross off all the multiples of 5. That's 25 and 35. The other multiples of 5 are already crossed off. Alright, the next thing I want you to do is circle number 7. So we've got 2, 3, 5, and 7 circled. Those are our prime numbers so far. And then I want you to circle all the other multiples of 7 that haven't been crossed off yet. And that's 49. So we're crossing off 49. Next, we're going to circle 11. That's our next prime number. And after 11, we want to make sure that we've circled all the rest of the prime numbers. So 13, 17, 19, and so on. Pretty much every number that's left. Now what I would like you to do is I'd like you to continue this chart up to the 100 chart. And if you can show me a completed chart tomorrow, then you can earn your prize. Just bring it to me during your math class, and I'll have the prizes ready for you. Thanks for joining me for Prime and Composite Numbers, Chapter 3, Lesson 3. I hope you finish off that prime number chart, and we'll add those prime numbers to our prime number wiki on the board tomorrow.